Greetings, Graphite Knights. In this video, we're going to be making this knight riding that griffin. Let's get into it. Okay, to start, I just want to say that I don't know what inspired me to do this on the offset, like what originally set me off. I'm just so glad that it did. I love making this picture, and I love how this griffin has been incorporated into not just the actual graphic novel, but the little shorts I've been able to make for him. I've been so much fun. He's really actually pretty inconsequential in the novel. He's just how, so far at least, he might not be inconsequential throughout the novel, but for our graphic novel, he's just how the Graphite Knight or Graphknight shows up to the ruins of Lentalk at the start of the book. So we zoom in, we get a picture of Jar-nel 1, which is the Earth that we're going to be on, the planet that we're on, and it zooms into the ruins of Lentalk. Its front gate, its front bridge, which has been abandoned, right? Like this whole kingdom has been long since abandoned. And then all of a sudden, this griffin swoops through the forest and across the bridge it flies. And from its back jumps the heroic Graphknight, who then, injures his kidneys as he lands a little bit. Now, the perspective here, he's going to look a little smushed for a minute, and that's because his head is a bit in front of his neck, which is a bit in front of his back, so on and so forth. And so we want to show off his features, but we also want to be aware of the fact that he's not completely sideways. He's not completely front-facing either. He's more of like a 3/4. It's like he's diving for that bottom left corner of our picture. But as we do that, we want to realistically, as much as we can with a griffin, think through, okay, what does that mean for his frame? His feet are probably a little bit tucked behind him. You can't see those as well. That's going to be a little goofy for a minute. His wings, how do we angle those out so that they're kind of perpendicular to the direction he's flying, right? Because his wings would be at like a 90 from his head to his tail kind of thing. And so we're working through those things. I decided I wanted a nice, like, white gleaming griffin. You can have some really cool brown ones, some black ones. I've even seen some, like, red feathered griffins, which is cool, just while I'm sitting out my back porch. But I was like, you know what? Let's do a white colored one. I don't know why exactly. It just spoke to me. I just felt very like, the whole knight thing. There's a lot of cliches about it. There's a lot of glorification of it, and some of that's fun, especially in fantasy cultures. Like that's fun, but it is a little ridiculous if you start putting it in like a historical context. There's a lot of good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like bashing on all of the heroes of history or anything like that pre-Renaissance. I'm not doing that. All I'm saying is, like, the idea of, like, the knight on his white horse kind of thing is kind of funny. And I kind of wanted to lean into that because our hero, he's a great guy. He's amazing. He wants to do the right thing. But we also get to see him as a person. And so, like, yeah, he jumps off the griffin because he's the heroic knight. But he injures his kidneys because he's just a dude wearing knight armor. And that's all any knight is at the end of the day. That seems really reductionistic. It's not true. I don't mean it. I kind of mean it, but only in a sense. I realize that everybody's a person with a story, and I respect that. And, everyone deserves their fair turn. And in this case, we're going to get the story of the Graphknight, and it's going to start with him riding a white griffin. I'm not, like, in love with where I put the wings, so I tried to just play around, but I couldn't figure out anything else I was more happy with. And then I wanted to give him, like, the jet streaks. I'll end up moving those a little further away from his face for the novel. But I think for this, they're okay. And then we're going to have our knight mount him. And so with that, I already know what my knight looks like because I've been drawing him so much. So just going to have him sit on them. I tucked his legs around his wings. And that's our guy. Guys, thanks so much for watching this. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.